Let's now take a look at the brainstem. There are three parts to the brainstem: the medulla oblongata, or sometimes simply referred to as the medulla, the pons, and the midbrain. Here we can see a picture of the brainstem, and again we can see the midbrain, the pons, and the medulla oblongata, which is just above the spinal cord. If we look at the inferior portion of the brain, again we can see the brainstem. There's a portion of the midbrain that's up here that's not very visible, the pons, which is much more obvious, and the medulla oblongata. You'll notice that with the medulla oblongata there are these two bulges. These are called pyramids. And this will be particularly important because we're going to, in a minute, talk about something called the decussation of pyramids. The pyramids, as were just mentioned, are bulges on the anterior part of the medulla. These are formed by large corticospinal tracts that pass from the cerebrum down to the spinal cord. You might remember that a tract is a group of neurons that are sending messages in the same direction. These particular tracts are sending messages. These particular tracts contain neurons that are sending motor messages. And these neurons are sending messages from the cerebrum down to the spinal cord. As we can see in this diagram, these axons are crossing over at this location within the medulla, and this crossing over is called the decussation of pyramids. This decussation explains why the left side of your brain controls the right side of your body, and the right side of your brain controls the left side of your body. Let's now look at the centers that are within the medulla oblongata. The cardiovascular center is a group of neurons that regulate the rate and the force of the heartbeat and also controls the diameter of blood vessels. Next semester, when we look at the cardiovascular system, we'll look at this in greater detail. Basically, the cardiovascular center helps regulate your blood pressure, and it does so by regulating the heart rate and with how much force the heart contracts. It also controls the diameter of the blood vessels and therefore helps regulate the blood pressure. The respiratory center is another group of neurons found within the medulla oblongata. And this particular group of neurons helps adjust the basic rhythm of breathing. And we will understand why we would want to adjust the basic rhythm of the breathing next semester when we talk about the respiratory system. The medulla oblongata also contains neurons that are involved in vomiting, swallowing, sneezing, coughing, and hiccuping. The medulla oblongata also houses 5 pairs of cranial nerves number 8 through 12. And a portion of the fourth ventricle is found in the medulla oblongata.